on top of my head with my hat. And literally at this point, you're just making your way around the whole shape. Whatever it is that you're cutting out in the foreground, just take your time, be slow with it. Don't worry, it takes a little while, but the neater that you do this, the better the outcome's gonna be. You don't wanna go into the background at all. You wanna try and stay as close and perfect, true to that edge as you can. If you need to move down the screen while you're making these anchor points, you can hold the space bar and that opens a little hand and you can just drag anywhere you want in the image to get some more room and then continue making your points. If you want to curve one of those points, just select a bigger distance in between. Click once, the second one you drag like this, and then you finish off that tail end by holding Option and adjust it back to its track. So you're back on track, essentially making those points. Again, space bar to move this down. Bigger points here because the arm is a little larger. There's not as many curves. Slowly making our way down here. And let's go ahead and speed this up so you guys don't have to watch for the next 10 minutes me making anchor points. Okay, when you get close to that first point you started with, click on it, and then what you're gonna do is right click after you've joined that. You're gonna choose Make Selection. Change the feather radius to like 1 pixel is what I like to have. I think it's a good safe spot is around 1 and then hit OK. Now what you want to do is you want to copy this. So Command C on your keyboard, then come down here to the new layers panel and you're going to select a new layer. Then you're just going to paste that on with Command V. All right, so make sure you're on the background layer. Command click on the top layer you made to load the selection. Still on the background layer, then hit Shift Delete. That opens up the Content Aware Fill. Select Content Aware, hit OK, and what that's going to do is it's going to fill in the background on that bottom layer. So if you hide the top, here you go, look, we're gone. Whoop. Now you could be done at this point. It's a little bit sloppy. You don't have to go in, but what I like to do is actually hit S on the keyboard, which gives you your clone stamp. And then I just like to go through, you used Alt as the target and you pick a spot like right there, Alt, click, and then it's gonna clone stamp the area. Now I do this pretty fast, just a quick and dirty job. You don't have to do this, but I feel like it just tightens it up a little bit. It makes it a little bit better for that final edit. It's one less thing to maybe show up as an imperfection when I'm putting these in my videos or uploading them to social media, anything like that. So I just clone stamp around, try to get rid of that hard edge outline like right here. Again, you hold down Alt, it brings up a little target. You click the area you want to clone and then you click normally and it stamps that area in. There's the target, click, target, click, target, click, so on and so forth. All right, once you are finished and happy, head over to New, select New Document, and we're gonna make that the same size as our files in Premiere. So we're gonna go ahead and make that width 1920 by 1080, and then change the resolution to 72 because we're not printing this, so there you go. Boom. Now grab that other document you opened, pull it into the window so that you can see the two layers, select them both and drag them into the new document you just made, the 1920 by 1080. So if we hit Command T on our keyboard, we can see the full size of that. You can hold Shift and drag that down so it fits, scaled to size. I just like to make it right about there. Perfect. Hit Enter once you're happy, a little bit more, Enter. So go ahead and right click on these layers, layer 3, convert to Smart Object, and you're gonna do that for the background as well, convert to Smart Object. Lets you scale the image without losing any quality. You're gonna go up to Window and choose Timeline and wait for it. Boom, create video timeline, and we now have a video editor within Photoshop, so to speak. Go ahead and drop down layer 3, make sure that playhead's at the beginning, and then what you want to do is click the transform stopwatch, which makes a keyframe. All right, grab that to the very end, Command T, and then just change the foreground subject to whatever size you want. So let's scale it down to here. Let's move back to center. Now that makes a keyframe. So when we drag this back and hit play, you can see it animating from the size it was to the size we just made it. Now we do the same thing with the background. We drop down that layer, hit transform stopwatch, which gives us a keyframe. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna make that Command T one more time. So we're gonna drag this to the end, hit Command T to bring up that size. We're gonna scale up the background. So the background's moving up and the foreground's moving down. So it's gonna give us this trippy, weird, parallax kind of dolly zoom effect. Now if we scroll all the way back to the beginning and hit play, That looks crazy. It might be going a little bit too fast. No worries, you can easily make that adjustment by keeping that playhead at the end. Command T again, and what we'll do is we'll just scale that up so that the zoom isn't happening as fast. So it's just less zoom over the same amount of time. So now when we play that, you can see it looks a lot slower, looks a lot better. Now we could probably do the same thing with the top layer, just make it a little more subtle. So like I said, you click on that keyframe, you can delete it if you want, Command T, and we'll just start over by just scaling that down. That's enough, that's probably good right there, which makes your keyframe. Now when we hit play, very, very subtle, but looks a lot better. It looks a little more trippy, a little less amateur when it's subtle, slight, intentional movements. All right, so when you're happy with that, hit File, go down to Export, and choose Render Video. You can go over here, there's a YouTube preset, but it has it at 29.97. My timelines are usually 23.97, so I'm gonna change that right here, the frame rate. I'm gonna name this to Lake Louise 1, saved to the desktop, hit render, and you just wait it out. Good to go.